Hello, students. It's Maliki here. So, starting next week and till the end of the semester on Wednesday afternoons, I'm going to be doing a series of tutorials, workshops with you on services in your buildings. So, services systems. Um, I have the Brightspace module, your TDS Brightspace module open up here. And down here, we've got this Part 2C digital services models as such. So I'm going to pop into there. This is a lecture view, not student view at the moment. But this is what I wanted to show you. So Kirk has uploaded some pictures from the Safe Home book, which gives us an idea of what we're contending with. So, in terms of the amount of services going into the domestic house, it's quite a lot, actually, But I want you to think of these as systems, independent systems, in one sense. So, what we've got here in the first diagram is the feed, flow, and return for the heating system, for the radiator heating system, all originating from the boiler here, which is fed directly from a pipe from the mains in the road into the boiler. Okay, so that's one system. Second system that you've got here is your hot and cold water supply for your bath, for your sinks, for your toilets, and things like that. And third system is the drainage that's involved in that as well. There's your soil vent pipe, and all of these come out of the building and are taken to the road. Now, fourth system here is the electrical layout. So we've got sockets, lights, and switches, and all of those types of things here. And that's a similar. That's another version of the electrical system. So we've got kind of four systems there that we're going to take a look at. So Kirk has outlined on this assessment here what he's looking for. Heating system showing. So hot water cylinder, expansion tank, boiler location, radiator heating pipes, overflow, cold feed to the boiler, and the gas supply. Okay, that's all pretty straightforward enough to do, and we'll count that as being one system. Here's your plumbing and drainage. Cold water tank, we already have that in. Mains sanitary fittings, so sinks, showers, baths, washing machines, etc. And I will be showing you that the particular families that we're going to use, and I'll come to that in a minute. We need specific MEP families here, and I'll be explaining as to why we use those in preference to the architectural families. Soil and waste pipes, hot and cold water supply pipes, socket and outlet insulation for your electricity, which would be your ESP meter, starting there, switchboard, and then sockets, cable runs, switches, cooker outlets. And then your lighting installation, again, ESP meter, we already have that in. Light fitting positions and locations, extractor fans, switch locations, sockets, cables, and switches. Okay, so it sounds like quite a lot, but actually the majority of this here will be just positioning families, right? Positioning families. And once you've got the families positioned, what we can do is start to create the connections in terms of the pipes that connect in between all of the heating system, the plumbing systems, and the wiring that connects between the sockets and the lighting on that as well. So, as I said, each Wednesday we'll be doing that. I'm going to introduce you to this drawing, to this model here. And this is a semi-detached house that has a lot of the systems already modeled into it. This will give you a very good idea of what needs to be done. So if I zoom in here, you'll see there's our ESP box and there's our gas box. Both of them supplied via pipes with wires and with the gas coming from the main road and into the building from here. Okay. Those two small ones are the data cables, which would be your broadband and such. All right. If I come over here, you can see the run of first of all, the hot and cold water pipes. All right, that feed your sinks and your baths and wash and basins and things like that. And then the flow and return for the radiators as well. You can see a radiator here and there. So you can see there's the flow and return of those as well. Coming around the corner here. Okay, now you can see the hot and cold water supply to the sink. And you'll notice that the sink is fed directly off the mains there as well. And that's standard uh, procedure there. So it comes off the road through the house, and then the first thing it supplies is the sink, and then it goes up to supply water into the storage tank. You can see the drainage here as well coming out of the sink, and that's stops at that point there. It's not continued, and this is not perfect by any means at all. The more I got into this, the more it has kind of little anomalies, but I'll be pointing those out to you as we go along here. See those little green, yellow, red, and blue? They are actually connectors that are associated with the dishwasher. This is a dishwasher that's underneath the sink. And so those connectors play a very important part in terms of what we would be doing. That's why we would be using the MEP families as opposed to the architectural families, because the MEP come with those connectors. Now, let's go around the corner here a little bit. So this house is populated with furniture and casework and things like that. This one is left kind of just open so that you can actually see the services. Here's the cooker hood with a vent coming out there. Here's our boiler, right? It plays a very important part. So that supplies our hot water, and it's got to be fed with cold water to supply the hot water. You'll see those waste pipes there, and you see that each of the supplies that are coming in here, this is the mains water supply. It has a valve which allows you to switch it off in case there's an emergency or anything else like that. Other things to watch out for here are your lighting fixtures. Look, we've got smoke detectors, we've got we've got pendant lights here. There's a good view of your radiator. All right. Here is the water supply coming into this house with a water meter attached as well. There's your gas going into the gas box and then into the house from there, which goes directly to the boiler, fires of the boiler. Here's a really good example of your soil vent pipe, okay, coming down here. And you can see that this is the connection for the toilet, connection for the sink. And if I zoom in here a bit, what you're going to see is a couple of things here that I want to point out. Yeah. So there's our wash hand basin, there's our toilet, and there's our bath. Now you can see that the connection is not complete here, but these are the things we're going to be watching out for. Look at that. So here is the pipe coming out of the toilet is around an 80 mil pipe or something like that. But you can see it's kind of sitting either half in the floor, half out of the floor. So we'll be addressing those kind of problems as to how we can get the pipe out. Now, the reason we do this is because this will have a specific influence on where you're going to position your WC and your sink. And at the moment, what you've been doing is just putting them in where you think it is suitable. But actually, what's going to dictate it really is how we can get the services to and the services out of the sink as well. Here's a typical situation. One of the reasons that now the industry is modeling up even domestic supplies here. Here's a clash. So here is the water supply to the toilet tank, and you can see that it's penetrating through the soil vent pipe. So that's not going to happen in reality there. And they're the kind of clashes that cause problems on site. And what you want to do is be able to resolve those clashes before you get to site, because what you don't want to happen is that the plumbing contractor coming in and dictating more or less where things go. Now, I kind of say that with a little bit of caution because you'll always take their advice and things like that. But if you understand and you have made provision and space to allow all the services to connect into the various different items, then you shouldn't have that type of a problem in the first place. Okay. So that's what we will be doing. What I have here as well, I want to show you. I have created a folder here, and it is called House MEP Families. All right. So I'm going to zip this up. I'm going to put it up on Yammer, and I want you to download it, extract it, and create a folder either on your Revit folder within your C drive, or if you know where your UK library is, you can connect this folder in there as well. And so I've got everything that we're going to be using in this series. Is all the families that we're going to be using in this are actually within this folder here. So it's important that you download it and that you know where it is as well. A lot of these you will find directly, not a lot of them, but some of them you'll find directly out of the out of the box UK library for plumbing and for electrical and things like that. So there's plenty of families in there. But a lot of them you won't. So you won't find a site services box for ESB or gas. You won't find that kind of radiator. You won't find other items here. So it's kind of a collection of families that have been taken off manufacturers' websites and things like that. But they're all specifically MEP folders. And if you can just make out the little red uh, lines in here, they are the actual connectors. They allow us to connect the pipes in as well. So what we'll be doing is, first of all, we will be positioning all of the items that need to be positioned, and then we will be connecting them up. So that'll be starting next week. And keep an eye out on Yammer. And as I said, I'll be posting up more videos on this, but also I'll be in class on Wednesday afternoons, and we can plot how we're going to go about and populate our Revit model. So if you've been following along with myself and Tom on Friday mornings, then your Revit model is up to a position where we can start to populate these things now with all of those systems that I talked about earlier. Okay, see you next week.